All right, we'll go ahead and get started. We are joined by Texas head coach Mike White and players Jolie Mitchell and Tegan Cavan. As a reminder, please make sure to silence your cell phones. Give your name and a media affiliation when you get the mic to ask a question. Recording of the press conference with video from your cell phones prohibited. And if you're on Zoom and would like to ask a question, please use the raise hand function. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach White, go to questions for both players, and then the players will be dismissed, and then go back to questions for Coach White. So if you have an opening statement, feel free.
Obviously, we're very familiar with each other. Florida, they've always been a class organization. Coach Walton has done a tremendous job with that program. Continues to be a top runner, and we knew it was going to be a tough game. Fortunately, we were able to come out front because of Jolie Mitchell's couple of home runs, and then, of course, Tegan Cavan's pitching, throwing a shutout, which was tremendous for us. Good start. So we're we're just happy to be in this winner's position right now.
Okay, we'll go to questions for players. Okay, we'll go second row on the right.
Tegan, what is it about this field? I think you threw 2 shutout complete games last year. What do you like about this setting?
I mean, it's a place to be. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. A lot of people would give a lot to be here, and so I'm just grateful to be here to give my all for my teammates and come out with some wins for us.
Okay, we'll go front row right.
Brady Vernon, South America. Jolie, what was kind of like the plan going in against Keegan? You had good success against her last year, but just kind of the thoughts of going against their Florida's ace.
I actually didn't face Keegan last year in the game here, so kind of a clean slate for me. I knew I needed to be on time, and that's kind of just the forefront of my thoughts.
Okay, we'll go front row left, Eric.
Eric Bailey with the Tulsa World. I just want to ask you, we don't know who the opponent's going to be tomorrow, but is it beneficial when you know that you've seen 3 games against both the possible opponents?
Jolie, if you want to start, then we can.
I would say yes. I think a big thing is that we managed the things that we need to work on from the series this past season with them. So it's going to be a fun game to watch for sure, but just picking up on some of the tendencies that they're doing now instead of when they were back in the season and then making adjustments from there.
And one more question. When you're in that winner's bracket, how beneficial is it to get that day off and not to play back-to-back days?
Yeah, I think it's huge. It's a good reset to get some more rest for us, especially temps were cooler today, but in the past it's been really hot, and so it's good to relax, good to watch some more softball and just hang out with your teammates, but it's definitely helpful.
Okay, we'll go second row on the right.
Noah Ram with the Gainesville Sun. Tegan, having already faced Florida's offense earlier in the season, how much did that help? Knowing what to expect with their hitters.
Yeah, I think it was helpful to go back and watch the film that we had prior. I think we're both different teams now, obviously, so I think we used that, but then we also scouted some new stuff to help with the scout. But overall, I think it is beneficial. But I think when you get here, a lot of things change, and it's kind of is a new slate. It's postseason's a new season, and so same and different.
Okay, we'll go second row on the left, Scott.
Scott Wright with the Oklahoman, one for each player. Jolie, if you just describe what it feels like to hit not 1 but 2 home runs in this place, and then Tegan, you had the majority of your outs were ground outs on the infield. What was helping you get a lot of soft contact, and also what impressed you about your defense behind you?
I think it was pretty awesome. I didn't hit a home run last year, and so that was kind of my personal goal for this year. But now I just got to keep moving forward and being a good teammate. That's the forefront of my focus for the next week. I know that my teammates have my back, I have theirs, and I'm really confident that we can keep going forward together.
Oh yeah, for me it was huge to trust down in the zone for me to get those ground ball outs. Got me out of some situations that could have been bigger, and just my defense kept me locked in the whole game. It helps to keep my pitch count down, and Jolie too kept me locked in the whole time. My whole defense was talking to me, so they wanted the ball, so I was gonna fish it to them. So it really helped me throw less pitches, but also throw a little different because I think it's different than sometimes what I usually do.
Okay, we'll go second row on the right.
Thomas Jones, Austin American Statesman. Jolie, I think you have a little individual competition with Katie about home runs on the season. In a game like this, what's that banter like after you get 2, she gets 1?
And then she came up to me after we both hit one My second one, her first, and she said, "So what's that now?" And it kind of like didn't cross my mind, and I went, "Well, what'd you have before?" And she said 15. I said, "Well, now you have 16, and so do I." So I told her, I said, "Well, now I got to go hit for sure, and if I get on base, well, then you have a chance to do it." So kind of just going back and forth, but it is kind of good to just have that little nice, fun thing going on behind the scenes of all the grit that we're going through.
Any more questions for players? Okay, players, you're dismissed. Questions for Coach White? Okay, we'll go front row on the right here.
Brady Vernon, Softball America. Just what does it speak to Tegan's kind of control and spin when she doesn't have the Ks, but just a ton of weak contact against a really good lineup?
Yeah, I think it's her ability to mix the pitches up now. Last year, she was a little more one-dimensional, like a lot more rise balls. Now that the hitters know she can go with 1 of 3 pitches. And she was in pretty much control of it today. A couple of walks, but for the most part, she was, throwing the ball, being aggressive. And that's what you go to against Florida. Florida's really good at being patient and then trying to get you behind, and then they attack the pitch they're looking for. And fortunately, we're able to kind of mix it up enough.
Okay, we go second row on the right.
Thomas Jones, Austin American Statesman. Mike, Jolie was talking about that thing she has with Katie. How do those little, kind of fun battles in the dugout help in stressful situations, like the World Series?
Hey, man, it's like it's like your wife, happy life, happy players, whatever you want to make of it. But if they're happy and they're performing well, let's do it. I think that I wasn't really brought up that way myself, but I was more like mental and to task and everything else. But they got to play relaxed, and if that's the way they play the best and carefree and giving their best effort, that's what really matters.
Okay, we'll go front row on the left here to Eric.
Eric Bailey, Tulsa World. Coach, kind of a similar question I asked the players. You're going to play an opponent you've seen a lot this year. How beneficial is that?
Well, it goes both ways, without a doubt. I mean, they know our pitching stuff inside and out, and we know theirs, so it's going to be down to the team that executes the best. It's going to be a fun game to watch, one of the best pitchers in the country going against one of the best offenses in the country. And not to mention Landry's a really good pitcher too, so don't get me wrong there either. I mean, either team that comes through that thing or even team that loses, there's going to be 2 really good battles again, between 4 SEC teams, the winners and the losers. But it's fun right now to be in that conference and playing such great softball and seeing success that all softball's having right now, to tell you the truth.
There's still a lot of softball to be played, but you've had a lot of wins on this field. Is the victory celebrations after the wins like today, do they ever get old?
No, not at all. Nope. Just like getting here, you never gets old either. I mean, truthfully, one of the hardest parts is actually getting to this tournament, without a doubt. And then, of course, those first games, you got to win this first game. It makes it a little bit easier. But the second game, obviously, is huge. It gets even bigger. Having 2 lives going into the next round. So. But it's fun. It's exciting. It's great to see the team celebrate in the way they're doing right now.
Okay, we'll stay on the front row left with Eli.
Eli Letterman, ESPN. Mike, plenty was made about Mia playing 9 positions, last month. But even at her home position at third base, her glove has been massive for you guys. How valuable is that, and how have you seen her develop as a fielder in terms of being kind of a cornerstone in the infield there?
Yeah, just watching her day in and day out, it's the same thing she does at practice. She short picks and it takes the tough hops and is not afraid to go get the ball. Some people would let it play them a little bit. She, for the most part, she's really accurate with the throws as well. So she's able to kind of not only play well defensively, but offensively. She's one of the kids I want to have come up at the plate as well. So I'm glad she got the All-American nod this year, so it was well-deserved.
Okay, we go second row on the right.
Thomas Jones, Austin American Statesman. Mike, every year there's chatter about reseeding teams at the World Series. What do you think about that?
No, I think I answered that question yesterday in the press conference, is that I don't necessarily think that's what needs to be done. I mean, right now the parity, would you reseed the college football playoffs? Would you reseed the NCAA basketball playoffs? It is what it is, and that also what makes it interesting in some respects. I know some people would say that the top bracket's a little more loaded than the bottom, but I'm telling you what, those bottom teams are just as good too. There's really good pitching down there and hitting, obviously, offenses. So, how would you do it? Just straight off seedings. It's just not something I'm a fan of.
Okay, we go to the back corner of the room on the left over here.
Hi, Coach. Kayla Sweezy with Anscape.com. Just wanted to follow up about Mia, her experience playing in the World Series. Have you seen her embrace her role as a leader this year?
I've seen her embrace her and grow each and every single year. I mean, we're talking about a kid that was really nervous to even. In fact, she doesn't do press conferences, by the way, but she still won't. I'm working on that. She's running out of time. I keep telling her as well. But a kid that is really self-conscious, I think, a little bit, and is not sure of herself in front of people. But what a great person she is. I mean, she's a kid that is first generation, going to graduate with a degree from a tough university, which is an accomplishment and something that I take pride in as a coach, as having all our players obviously graduate with degrees. And just her, now she's able to stand up in front of people and talk to them and actually smile, and just the growth, is just tremendous. And that's what means the most. We may or may not win a national championship, but the feeling you get as a coach when you see someone grow like that is awesome.
Okay, we go second row on the right over here.
Coach Noah Ram with the Gainesville Sun. Just talk about, now that you guys have played a game here, the momentum that came from the Clemson series, winning those last two games, especially game 2, kind of getting out. How much do you think that carried over till today? Obviously, you did have a few days off, but do you think it did a little bit?
Oh, I hope so. And now the key is you got to keep that momentum going. This game is about swings and momentum and ups and downs and how you manage them. And fortunately, we were able to kind of get the big outs today to stop their momentum from gathering some speed. So some double plays, a couple of deep fly balls. It was probably a deep fly ball that might have left the ballpark with the wind blowing in, so that helped. But it was the same for both teams too. The Clemson series was extremely tough. But this team kind of, I don't know, they just seem to feed off that for some reason. They wait till their back's against the wall. It's frustrating as a coach sometimes, but a number of times this year we were always down. We wouldn't score till the 4th or 5th, and finally now we're starting to score first, which is somewhat of a sigh of relief.
Any more questions for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate you.